everybody. Welcome to Squared Up. I'm Bill Swinford.
And I'm Monica Daniels.
Hey, it's our 24th episode of our podcast. And boy, that's flown by.
It has. We're just plugging along, aren't we?
Tom Mann's with us. Hi, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Tom.
Good to be here.
Good
Glad to
morning.
be with you.
We have a new logo. I bet people noticed. We have a new logo. It's very similar to the old logo, but it's different because the square looks like...
It's really squared up.
It's very squared up, yeah. This is what it looks like now. And actually, well, there's a little change even to this that we'll talk about here in a little bit. We've got an ice rink going up here. There's our building right there. Mm-hmm. That's not my car. But anyway, this is a shot that Aaron Price took for us. And we're going to talk a lot about the square today. But first, I want to give you your coffee. Look, it's got your name and a heart on it, just like the old days.
Very sweet. Who did that for us today?
So this is Crown Brew Coffee, and today this came from Dara Doodle.
Hi, Dara.
Yeah.
Thank you for the coffee.
We do appreciate it very much. Mm-hmm. We've had a couple of different folks there that have been very sweet to us over the years. Well, most of them are, but a couple of them put our names on them. They know our order.
Yeah, ahead of time.
So that when I order online, they recognize that this is mine, this is yours, and we got a couple hearts out of it. It's very sweet. Crown Brew just celebrated an anniversary last week, I think 8 years in business. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to Karina that works there about back in the day when they were in Carterville. And this was... They came to the square around 2020. I'm pretty sure. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, it was right off of COVID.
Right, and because that's about the time they spent a long time working on the building, which is on Union Street, just down that alley. You can see the back of their building up there at the top from our office. They were on Division Street in Carterville, and they have a little sign in there in Crown Brew now that says they went from Division to Union, right?
Right.
And but they're on Union Street. They spent a long time working on that building before they actually made the move. But I do know it was right in COVID because Josh and Josh Benetone and Jared Gravatt, who was part of the business at the time, worked together to do something downtown to kind of lift all of our spirits. And it was Marion United is kind of what they kind of started up. And we did even a telethon. Swinford Media live streamed the telethon from the stage of the Marion Civic Center, where we had folks contributing money to help all those businesses that were so deeply affected by the shutdown. Mm-hmm. And $100,000 was raised in a single day on that telethon.
I remember that.
And it was very cool. And so they have been very involved in community efforts since, and but you can remember when I wasn't ever at their Carterville location, but I'm told by Karina that you were there quite a lot.
Well, yeah, I made it at least once a week. You know, they had their live music setups, and it was just they've been doing it right from the beginning. It was just such a gorgeous building, the way they decorated it, and the atmosphere that was there, and. It's just a great place to connect with friends.
And then they came to Marion and they kind of recreated that and did the same thing. And but I didn't know you back then.
No, we didn't know each other. No, sir.
Back then, if I was drinking coffee, I was drinking coffee alone.
Oh, sad.
That's wah, wah.
Wah, wah. And nobody was putting hearts on it either. But thank you again, Dara Doodle. We call her Dara Doodle because her aunt Melanie works for me, and that's for Dara Follis. That's her family name, Dara Doodle.
Right.
And we get to see her most every day when we go to Crown Brew. Right now, she's got that bright, shiny face and sweet,
very welcoming,
welcoming way.
Yes.
Okay, so I told you we were going to talk a lot about the square today, but before we get into that, what's going on in Heron this weekend?
So. Right, we're coming up on our hometown Christmas, which is going to be on Saturday. It's the same day as the, let me pull it up here. It's going to be the same day as, my phone.
It's Saturday, right?
It's Saturday, which is going to be Small Business Saturday as well.
Yeah, that's right. Saturday the 30th.
So a lot of a lot of businesses are going to be open as usual with their Christmas specials.
Got the big tree there at First Southern Bank parking lot.
Yeah, I hear Matt Bassler is going to be playing.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So the events are actually going to start at 4, but at 5:15, Santa is going to arrive at the city tree for the lighting. It's located on the corner of Park Avenue and West Monroe. So there's going to be activities. You can meet Santa. There's going to be the festival with games and prizes, a fun show, a magic show with Chris Eggleston. There's going to be a balloon artist, and you can write letters to Santa and put it in his mailbox. So we're going to have free horse-drawn carriage rides. And that is sponsored by Country Financial with Rhiannon Storm and Louise P&R with Julie and Aaron Christ. So they are providing the carriage rides. If you haven't been to Louise P&R, you want to make it there. It's all celebrated for Christmas. I got a picture in front of all the lights.
All decorated up.
Yeah, my favorite little Italian shop for authentic Italian food.
You know
So-
what? There's something that might happen you don't know about that's not written down there.
Uh-oh, what?
It may snow on Saturday a little bit.
Let it snow.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that
not
would
a
be
lot,
nice.
but there may be a little system coming through. It may have some little flurries and stuff flying around.
Yeah.
They're talking about it. I'm looking at it. It's been changing. Now, of course, that could change by the time everybody looks at this, but that's what they're talking about.
The weather outside, frightful or not frightful?
Not frightful.
Snow.
It's just delightful
Snow
because of a
is-
little bit of snow.
snow is so
It's
delightful.
the Christmas thing, so we're doing that. We do that in Heron, so that might feel very Christmassy.
I hope so.
That would be cool. A white Christmas early,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be nice.
That would be nice. The very next day, downtown Marion, right on the square, through the square, will be the Very Merry Marion Parade. We're going to live stream that at 5:30. You'll probably can catch that on our WFCN page. Probably the Marion Star page will have it as well. Starting at 5:30. And I think you're going to join us on that broadcast. So 100 entries into that parade. So we've told you about these events a couple of times now. We're just reminding you because you'll have a chance to see this podcast or hear this podcast before the weekend. Another thing
It'll be
happening-
clear that day, just to let you know that we're going to have
No snow, no
clear
snow.
and cold.
Cold,
It's
yeah.
very cold. It's got to bundle up.
Yeah, I did hear it was going to be in the 30s with a little bit of a wind. So we're that turtleneck you're talking
Wind.
about.
Yep.
I think that the
Layer up.
30s may be the heat wave, but I think it's going to be cooler than that. We're talking about maybe right at 30 for the high on Sunday.
Time to get
Okay,
out the cuddle duds.
Yeah, I hate to be a downer, but actually it's kind of a good thing. At least it's not like 75 or something degrees. And
Keep my
Yeah, who
fingers
would
crossed
want-
for a
no,
hot
no,
flash.
want that?
no.
See,
It'll
I'll just need my hot flashes to kick in.
Okay, there we
and
go.
I'll be okay.
find Monica and,
Give me a hot flash,
Yeah,
please.
find Monica and she'll warm you up. Before either of these events, this weekend, we are collaborating with the Black Diamond Harley Davidson family of businesses and the Oasis developers to do something called 12 Days of Giveaways. And we are going to start with a live stream this Friday at 10:30 in the morning. So Black Friday, 10:30 in the morning. You might be out there shopping. You might be out there checking out the deals. Well, go to one of the Oasis businesses. These are our select locations in what they call Thrillville, right? Down around the old mall. And those include Black Diamond Harley Davidson. You can stop in there, or Oasis Power Sports in the old Toys R Us Oasis Home Center near Target, Black Diamond RV, Krispy Kreme Donuts, Oasis Lawn and Garden, next to Dillard's, Oasis RV. So all of those places you can go into even today, and I would recommend it if you're hearing this early enough to get into the registration for this weekend's drawings. Go into these stores, enter this contest. And this will be going on for weeks. So if you haven't made it in yet this week, get in there. And there are going to be continued drawings for prizes. They're giving away some great prizes, starting with a huge, huge television on Friday. Saturday, they're giving away a Kawasaki Teryx, a brand new Kawasaki Teryx KRX 1000, value $23,000.
Wow.
So
nice.
so that's happening. So So Friday morning, we're at Oasis Home Center to draw a name to give away that TV. Saturday morning, we'll be at Oasis Power Sports in the old Toys R Us to give away that Kawasaki. Get in there and get those entries in, because somebody's going to win this. And what I was going to say is, if you happen to be in one of these other locations, or the location where we're doing the drawing at the time of the drawing, and your name is drawn, you will get an extra $500 cash on top of it all. Okay.
Very
So
nice.
this is going to continue next week. I think we have them Thursday, Friday, Saturday next week. And we're streaming these things on our Facebook pages. So watch for those streams. Some of them will be in the morning, like this Friday and Saturday. Others on weeknights and weekday afternoons and things. So we'll try to keep you up to date on that. Best place to get all this information is gothrillville.com. Gothrillville.com. All right. So let me tell you what we did yesterday. We had a ribbon cutting to celebrate the newly refurbished and completed Tower Square Plaza. And this was going to happen outside, but the weather got bad, so we moved it inside City Hall. And this is City Hall over here now, the old bank. And we were upstairs in the council chambers. It was crowded, a lot of people there. And Mayor Mike Absher wanted a chance to kind of recap this, what's really kind of a 5-year project, and to thank some people. I was just going to run down some of what he said yesterday. So we remember when this first rolled out, we actually live streamed a meeting that Mayor Absher and the City Council conducted inside the Civic Center in, I think, July 2020. So just really a few months into COVID, but we had a nice rollout event down there where we were able to tell people this plan. So, it was kind of a depressing time right there in that year. And yet there was a lot of exciting things coming that he was looking forward to telling everybody about. And he had architectural renderings of what he wanted the square to look like. And the council got behind him, and they found a way to pay for it. And they rolled that out. So that's been now a little over 4 years ago since it was rolled out to the public, and just a few weeks now since it was complete. But he acknowledged, first of all, Horner Schiffer and the engineers who kind of helped oversee this whole thing. And that's Brian Ziegler. Brian Ziegler, formerly, that company was Claire de Ziegler Engineering, and Brian still works now for Horner Schiffer. And since they acquired Brian and Glenn Clarida's engineering firm. And so Brian was there yesterday talking about all of these steps that they went to. And this was a 3-phase project. You had the center circle was phase 1. So phase 1 was the center circle project was headed up by Chastain and Associates as far as figuring out how to take out all those, those planters and some of that concrete work that was on the square, how to remove all of that, kept a couple of vital things, including Mayor Butler's statue and a couple of other markers, but otherwise redid that square and added the fountains, designed the fountains, and then designed a way to have ice skating in the wintertime on the square. And that's actually going up right now, and they're going to have ice skating open by this weekend. And so he gave credit to them and designing and envisioning and rolling that out. And they did these architectural renderings that Mayor Absher said he's had a copy of this, a framed copy of a rendering that looks remarkably like this photo outside of his office, or they're at his office for all this time. So he could be reminded every day that all of this work they were doing, all this trouble that they were going through to make this happen was going to be worth it.
I was sitting here thinking about, that time when you were talking about that happened. Of course, that was in the middle of COVID, so COVID was beginning. At that time, I don't think I could have imagined even being outside with people because we didn't know how it was being spread, and everybody was pretty afraid of that. So that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about that. I thought, wow.
Yeah, and at the same time, I remember one of the things we discussed was that through this development of the square, we were going to make it more pedestrian friendly, and we were going to make an outside space that people could go to. And so we were just imagining, and it took a lot of imagination then, what that would feel like, what that would be like, to have these, but of course, when we started rolling out public events again, in the midst of COVID, a lot of that was outside. We had the Marion High School graduation that year. We had kind of a kind of a strange, odd graduation ceremony that happened on the public square, and we were flashing up pictures of each student on these large screens outside, and we were just allowing everybody to have that 6 feet of space that you're supposed to have, rather than crowding into a gymnasium or a football stadium or something like that. So that's kind of the way it started. And so people started to get a feel for, well, this, hopefully COVID will go away and this will be still something that we'll want to do. We'll want to have these public gatherings on the square. And from what we could see from the plans, it was going to be really conducive and pleasant, and fountains and the beauty of it.
And the mayor can play Christmas music when he wants to, right?
That's the key. Whenever he wants to, he's the mayor. Yeah, Mayor Absher texted after he watched our last podcast and said to apologize to Tom that he had already cranked up the Christmas music. Tom was saying Christmas.
That's okay. That's okay, Mayor. You're the mayor. No, it's nice.
Tom doesn't want his Christmas music before Thanksgiving, but the mayor was giving us it anyway.
I guess that means you'll just avoid the square before Thanksgiving, right?
That's right. That's right. We'll shield you from that terrible Christmas.
I just have a few days as we're doing this now, but you know, hey, we're there this weekend, so.
Anyway, that was funny that he texted to say that, but so the other issue they had to deal with is that there are roughly 9,000 cars that go around the square every day. And they wanted to make it more pedestrian friendly, which meant they wanted people to be able to navigate, because we've got new development, new businesses going in. Granny Puckett's over here, and your business that you enjoy that's right next to it.
Milkweed Provisions.
Milkweed Provisions, right? And we've got the new steakhouse going in down here. Right. The old City Hall is going to turn into a microbrewery. We've got Little Nashville. Tower Square Pizza is very popular.
Seasoning Bistros.
That's down there.
Down here. Yeah. And of course, our Civic Center's down in this corner. There's just going to be a lot of places, and we've got actually people living on the square now. There's apartments in that building. There's going to be apartments in one or two of the other ones. And so they wanted to make it more pedestrian friendly at the same time, but also realizing that the traffic is just going to, if anything, get heavier. Right now, at 9,000 cars a day is a lot to deal with. So they had to figure out how to get people safely across these crosswalks, and that was part of the design. So phase one was this circle. Phase two, that people forget about, but is vital, is they replaced an 80-year-old water main that used to be under the square.
I remember that going on.
Yeah, and they needed to replace it now, because you don't want to do all of this, this beauty and development and repavement of the square and then have to tear it up because, the water main goes down. But this is an 80-year-old water main going back to World War II, and Marion traditionally has had terrible water pressure issues on the square. They've had buildings burned to the ground because they couldn't get enough water pressure. And that this whole side over here burned back in the 60s. My building burned partially in the 60s, and they struggled to get any water out of those hydrants. They used to run hoses for blocks around, and they'd bring pumper trucks from other towns with bringing in tanks of water, trying to deal with these fires. And I've told you the story before about the old days of the square when they used to house the old horse-pulled fire wagon in a barn back behind what this used to be a hotel, and a barn back there, and they used to house it there, and they tried to get it up this very kind of shallow hill here, tried to get it up to the square, and they couldn't get it up there. But I think that was their first. That was when they got their first engine pulled wagon that they couldn't get it to climb the hill. They've had all of these firefighting issues on the square, and thankfully all that's gone. We've got a new hydrant in front of our office. There's several new hydrants and a big water main that's going to, as the mayor said, eradicate that problem once and for all. And so that was phase 2. That took a while. And then phase 3 is all of the corners, okay, and all of the walkways and all of the landscaped areas, these triangles here. All of this is now irrigated by that new water main. So there's water running to all of those as well. And then it's just the bricks and the beauty and the feel of it can't be matched. I don't know any other towns anywhere close that can match that.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
I love
Mike Absher does a great job with the aesthetics. He really gets that.
And I love that. It's funny when you drive through it now, I actually feel safer going around that than I did before.
I feel
not only
so
in the
much
car,
safer.
but when you're
was
walking
always,
too.
Yeah. Like where you would, in the past, you would back out. We had a few fender benders from people backing out at the same time and didn't see each other.
Because these corners are now, there's a little bit of an elevation, so you have to slow down to go in and out of those corners. You have to be, so you're naturally more careful. People aren't just flying into parking spaces anymore, or flying out of parking spaces anymore.
The other nice thing for you, Bill, you don't have that dumpster out front anymore, do you?
No,
that was the marker I knew how to get to Bill's place.
I thought that was a permanent thing there for a while.
Dumpster.
We had it, and then it went away, and then poor little Nashville burn, and it was back, and and then it went away, and I think it's gone for good, thankfully.
Right. So one of those side alleys, they had a concert. Josh Benson had a concert out there, a pop-up concert.
I heard about that.
It was a band, a big band.
That's the Paradise Alley down here between the Civic Center and Katie Fowler's business. And that was cool. It was it was really nice. They were on their way to New Orleans. They are a very popular traveling jazz band, and this combo came down, and we just came across it. We'd heard about it, and then we came across it because we were downtown the other night, and that was also cool.
They had the heaters out. Josh Benson had all of the outside heaters out, so you had a place where you could kind of warm up if you needed to. It made it a lot easier.
And they've got those string lights above all the alleys now, so that's adds to the.
It's really nice.
So there's just so much atmosphere there. If you haven't gotten down there, especially in the evening, to check that out, do so. The fountains are off now for the winter, but we do have the ice skating back. I wanted to mention some of these others that he mentioned that deserve credit for helping make this happen. So I mentioned Brian Ziegler, Horner Schifrin, Chastain and Associates. This obviously the water department with the water main, the street departments. That's city engineer Doug Phillips, and of course the road replacement, the tearing up the old pavement, the putting in the new. Samron was the contractor for the phase 1 and phase 3. He gave a shout out to Sean Spence, the foreman of all of that. Grant Guthman from that company spoke at the ribbon cutting. And Brian Ziegler said every construction discipline that there could be involved in a contractual job was involved in this. And it was a very complicated thing. And just the organization of it and the planning of it in order to be able to maintain traffic flow while, basically turning the square upside down. It's really remarkable in retrospect, especially, and how well they did.
It was more art than it was anything else.
Yeah.
It's funny. It is construction, but I was looking at the little fine details and everything. For instance, even the bricks.
Yeah.
And the things in the bricks. I know by the
logo there on the city hall.
City
side.
Hall. I saw that and I was like, those are bricks. I had to go look at it.
Yeah, even the handicap parking spaces are painted brick. And that was all done ahead of time and put together perfectly.
It's just nice.
Kind of like a big Lego project.
Yeah,
it's just coming together.
Really nice.
Beautifully done. We got all of these nice little pedestrian walkways. You can push a button every time you're in a walkway to flash lights and say, "Hey, I'm out here." There are lights flashing from these poles. There are lights in the street that are flashing to alert you. So that part of the project, phase 3, was funded by 2 grants. Helped be partially funded by 2 grants. One a state grant, one a federal grant, and Dave Severin, our former state representative, who now has a different district, was present yesterday because he was very instrumental in making that happen. Of course, the mayor shouted out his city council, Cody Moak, Cody was always the guy I was going to and saying, hey, how much longer is it going to be before I can park, near my office again and that kind of thing. And he had to deal with so many different people, and try to get the information out. The communications folks at City Hall, everybody did a great job with that. And so then they did the Chamber of Commerce, Marion Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting to cap the whole event. So that was nice, a nice feeling of accomplishment. And as Mayor Absher pointed out, it's all paid for. There was no loans needed to make this happen. The city, with the grants and with setting aside the money, was able to pay for it all. It's done. It's paid for.
Nice.
And now on to another project.
Perfect.
Next time we go through something like that again, you need to think about that dumpster deal, and you need to maybe put your logo on the side of that thing.
That
Swinford Media.
would have been brilliant. Yeah. I definitely.
Swinford Media dumpster, right out front.
Maybe I'll just get a dumpster. I mean, we do generate a lot of trash in our office, so maybe I'll just get a dumpster and set it out right there. Because I kind of miss it. Yeah, now that you mention it,
I know. Yeah, we do miss that.
Went to the vault the other day, and the vault is one of those businesses that had their times when they suffered a little bit because of the parking, being taken away at different points.
And you think of it as COVID, and then you had we were doing all this. So
that's right.
There's a lot of things the business have been through, but
that's right.
They've been thriving, and I think we've been excited about this. I literally take my time to go somewhere in the square simply because I want to participate in it and help those businesses, and they're good. They're great.
Yeah. Jennifer Olson shared something the other day. Jennifer's the director of development for the city. And she shared something that I saw and shared on Facebook about the illusion that we have as far as parking goes. We think that if there's not enough, people say it all the time, there's not enough parking downtown to accommodate this or to do that. But there are parking lots, and you can even see some of them in this image. There are parking lots there. There's a parking available here. There's some back here. There's all around this area, down to by Benny's and so on, and even beyond that, there are
you just have to walk a block and get some exercise.
Yeah, and the illusion she was showing is like, okay, and it was a neat illustration that showed, okay, if you were to go to a big box store and you were going to park, where we typically will park on a busy day at a big box store, the amount of walking that you're doing just to get into the store and then back out to your car, let alone all the way through the store, is so far beyond anything you would have to do downtown to walk up to. It's just a little bit of a different mindset that you have. You want everything to be so convenient, and so that's why I try not to complain. I try not to complain when I have to park. And you know what? And as we said, those alleys have been done really nicely. Some of them have
with
murals.
The lighting and the
Some
murals.
of them, they always have lighting now.
Yeah.
It feels safer. Feels like an experience just to walk up and down.
It does. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
Walking is good for us. It's good for the soul.
It is?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Physical exercise is good for us.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. We'll look into that. We'll see if we'll do some research on that, see if that's true.
Hey, 100 years ago, we would have been the horse thing, and most of us would have been walking anyway.
Knew a woman, Lois Webb, my former grandmother-in-law, who's been passed away for many years now, but she used to talk about taking the trolley to downtown Marion. She lived over closer to Heron or past Heron, and you could catch a trolley that would bring you over to Marion, and it would come up down around Benny's area there. It wasn't Benny's then, but she's talked about the experience of getting off the trolley and walking up to the square. The courthouse was up here then.
Yeah.
And how everybody was doing that. And there would just be like this mass of people walking up the street, walking up Market Street, just to get downtown and be where the action was. When we moved onto the square, our business moved onto the square 10 years ago, it didn't feel like a place where there was action. And now it's starting to feel that way again, both day and night.
That's a song, Downtown, Petula Clark. That's something that after the Christmas music, I think the mayor could put that one up and just...
Yeah, I definitely think that should be in the rotation. Josh Benson, who you mentioned at the Civic Center, kind of helps with those. So we'll give we'll make a request.
Yeah,
When
downtown.
you're alone in your home, and yeah, you can always,
always
go,
go
downtown. You know that song?
Probably.
Probably. You just didn't recognize my version of it?
No, I've probably heard it before.
No. Well, anyway, I think that's all we've got. Is that all we got?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all.
we saw Wicked last night.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's cute.
Let's give a plug to Wicked. Do you know Wicked?
No.
Do you know the show? Well, it's a Broadway musical
Okay, yeah.
that they've turned into a movie. And Wicked is an interesting idea in that it kind of gives you a second perspective on the story of the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got the two witches, the good witch and the bad witch, Glinda and the Wicked Witch of the
West.
West.
Yeah.
And of course, she had a sister, the Wicked Witch of the East.
East that got smashed by the house.
You
I
meet
remember
all
that.
of
That was
these
so sad,
characters.
yeah.
You meet all of these characters when they were younger, and you see kind of how the story
backstory,
unfolded, the backstory, and you meet the wizard as a younger man, played by Jeff Goldblum in the movie.
Who's not a young man.
Well, okay, he's not that young, but he's definitely older in The Wizard of Oz. We're still several years before the story of The Wizard of Oz, because this is a two-part movie. They rolled out Wicked. Somehow you can go see the musical Wicked in 2 hours and get the whole story. They've decided to make 2.5-hour movies to tell the story. So there's a lot. They have all the music, but there's a lot more fleshed out in each of these scenes.
There's a lot of clever lines. Bill and I were just cracking up.
Yeah.
We're laughing so much. Yeah.
Ariana Grande
as
Glinda the Good Witch is hilarious.
She is.
She's really funny. When you remember when you watch Wizard of Oz, Glinda doesn't seem that hilarious.
No.
But as a younger woman, get her alone. She's great. She's fun. Glinda, when she's doing her thing with the bubble and stuff, she's it's like that. It's not that entertaining. But but when she gets on a roll, she can be hilarious. Apparently,
Yeah, she has some good lines.
Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, who originated these roles on Broadway. Little Kristen was Glinda, and Idina Menzel was the Wicked Witch. They actually make a appearance in the movie
they do
as
a cameo.
cameos at different characters, so that's very entertaining too. So we'll give that a shout out. It's recommended.
Yeah.
We give it 2 thumbs up. And Tom, you got any recommendations for us this week? Anything going on?
I don't know. I think really the things we were talking about, go to some of these events. You got the Heron on Saturday night. Sunday is during the day, and Sunday we have the thing in Marion. So I think there's a lot of great events that's coming up this week as you watch. So if you watch it after the week, the weekend's over, you missed it. But a lot of those great things, I think, take the time to do that, and also check out some of the places to eat when you're down there, and places to shop. It's really good.
We've got basketball cranking up all over the area. High school basketball, traditionally right around Thanksgiving, cranks up. I think Marion's in action at a tournament.
So,
this
and
weekend.
then Frenchman Widow, the night that we're having the Christmas tree lighting, they're going to have free hot cocoa and activities for the kids.
Really?
And if you've ever been in that restaurant before, it's really gorgeous on the outside.
I haven't, because it's kind of off. I know where it is, but it's right. I think the first Southern
That's
Bank.
West Monroe.
It's really pretty,
West Monroe Street in the Heron. It's another good place to visit.
Yeah.
So check out some of the different things to do. You can go see a college basketball game. Johnny Logan's playing Southeastern Illinois College in Harrisburg, coached by Sam Swinford, assisted by Riley Swinford.
Yeah.
Started out the season 10-3.
Yep.
And they're having a great start to the season. I got to see them play the other day. Very proud. Proud dad.
Good.
So their Shawnee College has got basketball, Renly College. Wherever you live, you're just a few minutes away from a good basketball game. And the basketball in Southern Illinois is always a lot of fun. We will be live streaming Wildcat basketball to some extent this winter once again. And we will probably roll out a schedule on that before too long. Aaron Price, who helps manage our WFCN page, I think is planning on doing a little streaming of basketball as well on that page. So a lot to look forward to, but we got the holiday stuff right now.
Yep.
And don't forget, like you said, Small Business Saturday.
Yep.
This Saturday, Go and
Support your small businesses.
that was another post I saw.
Yeah, $50 can mean a lot to a small business.
That's right.
It means nothing to a big corporation.
Right.
But to a small business, it could mean a lot.
Yeah, they will definitely know you were there.
Every little bit
visit a small
helps.
business.
Yeah.
And speaking on behalf of small businesses, we do appreciate
Take care of our local merchants.
Remember, go thrillville.com to get information about the 12 days of giveaways and all those local businesses involved in that. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, that's where we'll stop it. We'll be back next week with more. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. If you had Thanksgiving dinner already, I hope it was good. And now get out and shop local this weekend. And we'll be back with more.
Yep.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.